Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. So come get some Cromcon.
The sun peeks over the horizon. Your excitement builds. The animals in the field start to stir. The forest comes alive with sounds. The sunlight glimmers off the lake, and the mountains start to shed their morning fog. So load up your favorite ammo, grab a few buddies, and head out to make some memories. And tell the rest of the world that you've gone hunting. Gone Hunting is a 1 to 4 player game of family fun where you build a unique hunting ground, scout different animals, buy weapons and gear, and roll dice to hunt. Complete objectives and try not to miss. So let's load up the truck and back Gone Hunting today. See you in the field.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked Border Patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marcos' attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
And now for something completely different.
Pay attention to me, boy. I'm not just talking to hear my head roar.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
What is
wrong with you?
So just sit right down, relax, open your ears real wide and say, "Give it to me straight, doctor, I can take it."
Chops out from under the wheels. Flaps up. No offense, Margaret. Contact. We're off. Rum, rum.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Oh, what heights will hit. On with the show. This is it.
The doctor is in, baby. Migraine and all. You guys, I'm a train wreck today, but I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Joined as always by my lovely co-host. What's this guy's name again?
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Nice to meet you. Interested in a new Buick?
Nonsense. I've not yet begun to defile myself.
I'll make you famous.
And there he is.
I'll
What's
make
up?
you famous.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good. And good morning to everyone in the comments.
Good morning, chat. As always, let's see who's hanging out in the chat. We got Margot hanging out. Hi, Fanta. Wonderful to see you. Tree Goblin is here. Good to see you, buddy. Rob Plumpton, good to see you. Welcome.
Rob, good to see you, brother.
He says, hi from the UK. Newcomer to this. Okay, I have to confess, it's the first live stream I've watched. Well, welcome. I feel so honored. You're in for a little treat. We just sit back. We have a good time. We
hey, Margot. Hey, Fanta.
Yeah, we enjoy some coffee, some conversation. Of course, you're UK, so drink some tea. You'll be all right. We'll let you slide. We got a special guest today. She'll be out here shortly.
Morning, Kate.
Yes, and good morning to Kate in Orlando. You know, Kate, just for you, we have to do it.
This is my house.
There we go. Kate, as you know, is recovering from Hurricane Ian. She's down in Florida. And I'm going to share something out here. She didn't ask me to do this, but I'm going to do it. As soon as my technology and I get along a little better. Please stop being so anti-boomer. What's going on in your part of the world? So this is Kate's Cash App. If you want to help her recover a little bit from this damage down in Florida after Hurricane Ian, the $ Kate in Orlando Cash App. You can send her $5. You can send her $10. You can help her out. She posted over on her channel. If you just look up Kate in Orlando on YouTube, you will see footage of the flooding that comes right into her front door. So, yeah, let's take care of that. Let's show Kate a little love. So, what's going on with you this morning, sir?
Oh, nothing much. Just getting stuff ready for print with Apothic Press and trying to grow the business and find new creators and figure out how I'm going to promote them. And
Tanner is a creator and a publisher. So if you're out there and you just want to make your book and let somebody handle all the other junk, talk to Tanner. He will help you out. We do have this breaking live update from Kate in Orlando.
How dare you!
Sorry, Kate.
Sorry, Kate. Sorry.
Listen, that was all Tanner's idea. He made that one. He wanted to get it out there. So we got some stuff happening in the news this week. Elon Musk has bought Twitter. It is a fait accompli. It is done. It's a done deal. The question for the chat now is, how long, if ever, will it take for real free speech to come along? He said his only three rules were going to be no pornography, no calls to violence, and there was some other one that was just common sense. And he's like, other than that, you're free to say whatever you want to say. That's what he wants to see. Could you imagine a platform where you're actually able to say things without going, I wonder if this word will get me flagged. I wonder if that word will get me flagged.
It's a mind-boggling concept.
Imagine that, free speech. Also in the news, Kim Jong-ji died at the age of 47 of a heart attack. So he was a legendary figure in comics and in all of pop culture, really. Fanta says she's not really holding her breath on that. I'm going to have a little faith. I'm going to try to hold out hope for it. But Kim Jong-gi was a legendary artist,
Oh,
fantastic
absolutely amazing.
creator. I took the time last night to look through his body of work. You can look him up on the Google there and just hit images, and oh my God.
Oh, you'll find everything.
Yeah, just amazing work. And of course, our third news item is, of course, Florida continues to dig itself out of the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. But let's not forget also that my beloved home state, South Carolina, took a hit from that thing too. There's an island, Tanner, called Hunting Island, just to the north of you.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner's in Savannah. If you go across the river, you're in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's so true.
Yeah. And there's a little barrier island out there. To give you some context, this is the island where the jungle Vietnam scenes were filmed for Forrest Gump. They used to film the Tarzan movies there. It is literally a jungle. And it breaks out on over the years since I was living there. They've had to do all kinds of restoration because storms just wash that beach away. It's constantly eroding at a visible rate. It used to be a 4-minute walk from the lighthouse down to the water. Now at high tide, the water is at the lighthouse. That's how much it's eroded. And pardon me for coughing up a lung. I have to think this storm could not have done anything good for it. So I'm going to talk to some friends and get them to go out and take a look for me, take me some pictures. We'll see what happens. So everybody in the path of Ian, our hearts go out to you.
Absolutely.
That's what I've got him here for, folks. The legendary color commentary from Tanner Hurley. Absolutely. You're reading something. What are you reading? What are you reading?
Me right now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm watching you, actually. And then I look over to the comments section.
Oh, okay. All right. I saw your eyes panning like you're reading. So we've got a new concept for you. It's how rich people do things versus how poor people do things. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. This is another installment of Rich Man, Poor Man.
I love that truck.
Listen, aside from the running from the police, nothing wrong with any of the approaches in the video. If you're rich, God bless you. If you're poor, God bless you. Like the Apostle Paul said, I have been high, I have been low. I have learned how to be content with my situation, whatever it may be. So right now, yeah, poverty is the word of the day. Say it with me, children. Poverty. So fill up the back of the truck with some water and enjoy staying cool. Yeah. Pop's saying, critiquing me. Always leave a little room at the bottom of your video.
Well, I could have come out and said it live. I said it in the private chat. Now you're the one bringing it out.
Shut up. So
I'm looking for a man who you have found one.
Wrong clip. I know what you were looking for and you missed it.
No, that's not. No. All right, I let it play till then and then stopped it. I wanted to get to the definitive crime.
What? Oh my goodness gracious.
Do me a favor. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, it begins.
Yes, and so it begins.
How dare you?
My show is the bestest show. So we're gonna bring out our guest who has been very patient waiting on our hijinks to subside a little bit to come on out. So let's bring out the one and only Katie Shaw. Welcome, Katie.
Hello.
Hi, Katie.
Good morning. Good morning.
I was going to say I've just been jealously hoping to be a part of the hijinks. To be perfectly honest.
You are always welcome for some hijinks in
And for the record, I brought my tea.
All right.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, at least she says cat mom, so tea. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm a tea drinker.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot. Look, if I had that machine, that replicator, I'm just saying, I would want one right there on my captain's chair. Coffee, hot, black, the way God intended. Warm it back up. Right? Dude, I would die.
Even Rob's more of a coffee man.
Who?
Rob from the UK.
Yes, Rob is a coffee man. Good for you, Rob. Welcome to the club. Glad to have you. Because we threw that stuff in the harbor, So, nothing wrong with drinking tea. Katie, how in the world are you? Hey, Caroline, welcome. Good to have you here.
Doing just fine.
Doing good.
It is 7:12 a.m. over here, so.
Yes, you're in the early birdies over there.
Oh man.
Yep,
West Coasties. That's a stereo.
Yeah,
West Coasties. Whoosh.
It's nice and barely bright outside, so very fun.
I've been up since 7. And about I don't know, 30 minutes into it, I developed a migraine because here's a little known diagnostic tip for you boys and girls. If you wake up with it, it's not a migraine. I don't know why that is. It just is. But anyway, 30 minutes in this, a migraine is like a headache. That's just that asshole that comes to the party that takes things too far. Okay. Migraine blows right past, gee, I need an aspirin, to I want to saw my head off and staple it to the ground levels of pain. So when I felt that happening, I was like, oh, shit. Well, the old Navy cure for a migraine is sit in a dark room and drink lots of scalding hot black coffee. The caffeine, the heat. It has largely worked. So I will not be, sad to say, I will not be sawing my own head off and stapling it to the ground on a live stream.
Good. We don't want that.
I'm recovering, and your lovely faces are helping me. So, Kate, I wanted to ask you, though, is it wrong for me as a showrunner to exploit, nay, to pimp out my co-host?
Hey, lady.
So long as you're having fun,
All right. So we got Kate's seal of approval to pimp you out all day, buddy. So
the
Katie,
next photo is going to be, that same guy, maybe like a Fabio body on riding like the back of a dragon.
Awesome.
Hair billowing in the wind. Oh. Fabio. Oh my God. That dude made a living off of just literally being a poser.
Yes.
Think about
Must be nice.
And I don't hate it. There's no hate in that at all. You rock on, dude. Is Fabio still alive? Anybody know?
Yeah, I believe
They
so.
should have paid the fan more than they paid him, because the fan blowing his hair around is what made him who.
We don't know who that guy is.
Let's be honest. Whoever took care of his hair.
Yes. His cosmetologist deserves all the credit in the world. So, Kate, for those that have been living under a rock and have not run across you before, tell the people who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah, so I am the cartoonist behind Dragon Child. So this is my comic here. And I currently am running a Kickstarter to get the funds to print Dragon Child issue 8. I have my Cintiq open in front of me with about 5 different pages of comic that I'm going between inking wise. And It's been a wild, first week plus, and yeah, it's great.
People that don't know, Katie has published several issues of Dragon Child. This is the first one she's crowdfunding. So she has already proven that she will deliver a product. What issue are we on with this one?
So, like I said, we have, 1 through 6 in the full volume here, 7, and then new one's going to be 8.
The new one is the one we're funding right now is issue number 8.
Dragon Child issue 8.
And so Katie is the creator. She's the artist. She's the writer. But tell people about where this came. I love this story, Katie. Tell us the backstory of where all this came from.
Modern day fantasy, basic idea is, as a kid, I love the idea of what would happen if mythical creatures were real, and how would that work? So in the Middle Ages, they all went into hiding, decided that it was far, too dangerous for them to be out in the open. And now, fast forward to modern day, with all the chaos that's going on in the world, they're like, there's too much at stake. We can't continue to, do what we've been doing. And so the dragons pick one human to represent all of those different mythical creatures, and that is their dragon child. So they've let her grow up relatively normally, knowing none of this. And when she's coming to the end of her sophomore year in high school, starts noticing that things are a little bit weird. And upon discovering her first mythical creature, which happens to be an elf, this world of magic is open to her. And so now she's met a dragon, and who's way too excited to have anything to do with the whole process of what she's going to be learning. And with that spunk added to her life, her life will never be the same.
Outstanding. And I think it's neat. You said you had the original idea for this and created the first character. When
I was in 5th grade.
In 5th grade, you guys.
Yeah. It was a much different story back then, but the idea of, mythical creatures dealing with humanity, how that would happen, that was the same. And that little idea never went away. I want to say, like, of all of my characters, my dragon characters came first, and they like solidified into what they are now when I was in middle school.
Right.
So realistically, that was like 7th grade.
Yeah.
And
so
I have all sorts of terrible images of me much younger drawing all of these characters, and I'm like, no one will ever see these. They're atrocious. I'm sure that all artists have very negative opinions of some older sketchbooks. They're like,
absolutely.
No, under penalty of God will anyone ever see it. And I'm sure they'll, my husband will be like, oh, we'll make sure that these come to the light of day. But I'm like, if I can avoid it.
Only when you reach that J.K. Rowling stage of wealth and fame can you bring those out. Because then it doesn't matter anymore. It's like, whatever.
Exactly. Well, and I'm sure that other people won't think they're nearly as bad as I personally think they are.
Of course.
But
yeah, absolutely. We are indeed all of our own worst critics. My wife is the only critic. Well, my chihuahua. When I'm painting, my wife only has 2 responses to a painting. She'll say, looking good, that means keep working, or purdy, that means you're done.
Nice. Yeah, my grandfather, his favorite, way of describing how he felt about something was always not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. Yes.
And he meant it truly as a term of endearment. So he would look at something, even his own work, and the best praise was always not bad.
Not bad. It depends on who that comes from.
It's true.
If you get some hardened old, hard-bitten person, and they give you a not bad, then that's high praise. If, however, you have someone like Kitty Foreman from the 70s show who says, not bad, well, then that means you suck, Katie told us the last time we talked that Jeff Smith was one of her inspirations. She's wearing a Bone shirt.
Yes, I am.
I couldn't help but notice it.
I saw that.
Yeah, Jeff
Tie-dyed
Smith.
by my sister Karen, who lovingly added green to a shirt that I otherwise would have never worn. Because because redheads cannot do pinks, yellows, oranges. Not ever going to happen.
Exactly.
And so she added the
Exactly
green,
right.
and I'm like, hell yes.
Now I can wear it. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, no, Bone was the comic that got me into comics, and I discovered it in 3rd grade, ironically at issue 6, and just absolutely fell in love. Had never seen anything like it before, and yeah, I saw Rob's question. Real quick answer to that is I'm still figuring that out, but so far it's like, to be perfectly honest, every time that anybody backs it, I just get so elated and excited. It's so fantastic. And
Yeah.
it's something that, like, when you sell a comic at a con, which is what I'm used to doing, been doing that since 2013. It's still a rush to do that because, it's always something new. But at the same time, when it's crowdfunding, it's like somebody's taken the time out of their day. They're not forced to be in an event with you.
Right.
To, either answer the call that you've sent via an email or social media, post or whatnot, or they've just found it randomly, which is fantastic.
Right. Exactly.
And
right.
there is nothing quite like knowing that, yeah, these people are actively not just spending, $5 on whatever you're making, but they're, putting whatever they're determining is worth their time to make sure that the thing happens. And
exactly. And, I can't say that Kickstarter, I can't speak to Kickstarter. I use Indiegogo. Same mission for both of them, both crowdfunding sources. The advertising part comes from what we're doing here. If you're a creator and you want to get your product out there, you got to have a YouTube channel. You got to get out there and go on all the other related YouTube channels and make yourself known, shill your book, because it's a sorry dog that won't wag his own tail.
Oh, exactly. Well, and it's fun to, because I have an ongoing mailing list that I send out stuff whenever new stuff happens. And, some of the first backers were, of course, people from that mailing list who are like, oh, okay, let's back the thing. It wasn't just like, hey, it's people that I know, it's family members, that kind of stuff. Nah. It's if anything, those are, there's maybe been 2 total.
Oh yeah, they're always few and far in between.
Yeah, and of those, it's like it's the random family members. Like my dad flat out said, no, it's not happening. But but past that, it's like these are people that are truly just like, yeah, we're gonna make sure that we do this because we want to see it happen. There's going to be that one that's, I want to say the second backer was like, some random Kickstarter something saying we're going to put $1 behind it, and I'm like, I'm still here for it.
Oh,
yes. Thank you.
The backer kick, $1.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, they will pull it. Like if you don't have so many pledges within a certain time frame, they deem you like not worthy of that $1.
No, that's valid.
And it just cracks me up because with my first one, I was like, oh, that's cute. Okay, backer kit gave me $1, trying to incentivize, me using them. I was like, that's fine, whatever. But then, I had the knowledge of them taking away because you get the notification. So I'm like, what? Oh, who dropped the pledge? And I'm like, oh, backer kit took their $1 back. Okay.
I'm going to admit that I have pulled my $1 or $2 back from a campaign because a Dr. Pepper fit came on me and I had no cash. I'm like, I need that $2 back. I don't need that comic book. I need this Dr. Pepper. I'm kidding. I would never do that. I would never in a million years do such a thing. We're going to take a look at Laurie's campaign here. I mean, Katie's campaign. I would apologize. So I want to embiggenate that. Let me see. There we go. So right now we're sitting at $777 of a $1,500 goal.
Just past the 50%. So super excited about that.
And Pops, are you sharing that, or is Katie sharing it?
It's definitely not me. So that's Pop.
All right, Pop. So let's scroll down and take a look. Excuse me. I have to have a coughing fit. Yes, play the
Yeah,
video
let's
for
watch
us.
the video.
Hello, everyone. I'm Katie Shaw, the cartoonist behind Dragon Child, and I would like to welcome you all to the Kickstarter for Dragon Child Issue 8. Dragon Child is a modern-day fantasy comic where mythical creatures are real, and the dragons have picked one human to represent all of those different creatures to humanity. That unsuspecting human girl is Ryu Kodomo, our main character. First, she learns that elves are real when she meets Chase, a young elf in the woods. And now she's face to face with the reality that dragons are real too. Specifically, Ryu has just met Ember, a cute young dragon who's very excited to be here. And that brings us to Dragon Child issue 8, which picks up right where issue 7 left off. Scope-wise, this particular issue is 32 pages of black and white comic. I have fully completed the cover, inked 20 out of the 32 pages, with 2 more partially inked, leaving 12 pages left to ink, toning for the whole issue, proofreading, and then I can get things sent off to the printer. To both get the issue printed and get more eyes on Dragon Child, I turn to you all. Reward-wise, there are many options past issue 8, including the ability to adopt some of my handmade dragons. Yes, you heard that right. I hand-make my dragon characters into large plush toys and puppets too. You can also select the catch-up tier to get issues 1 through 7 if you're new to the series. Even though this is my first crowdfunding campaign, I'm excited to see what this will do to help grow my audience and bring excitement around the series. Thank you all for being here and your support. I hope that you're as excited as I am to see Dragon Child 8 get printed and have it in your hands to read.
Outstanding.
Beautiful.
Katie, I gotta say, man, I love your art style.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, it's this weird amalgam of all the things I love, which I obviously Bone, had a bunch of manga that I, discovered early on as well, and I just love black and white comics.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say without even knowing you or having bet you, I would look at this and go, I see a little manga, I see some Jeff Smith, so how delightful it was to discover those were your influences because I love it. So I can't see. This is the volume 1. So
Yes.
this is the catch-up book, correct?
Well, so this isn't directly in the catch-up tier. So the tiers themselves are all issue-based, but every single one of the tiers that can have physical things attached to them can have any of the books that I print. So I have all the individual issues available as add-ons, all of the trades as add-ons, and just to break that down, there's the 6-issue trade that you see there in the picture in both paperback and hardcover.
Nice.
And then 2 mini volumes, so they're both 3-issue trades.
Very cool.
So 1 through 3, 4 through 6.
Very cool. I
So
like that.
whatever your poison is, that's what you can do.
Ooh, pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
And oh wait a minute, I just clicked on the wrong thing. I almost boomered the whole show up.
Oh no,
guys! Let me tell you,
caught yourself.
I think it was the very first
Thank you,
live
Charles.
stream I ever did. I left the studio and I didn't end the stream. And my buddy called me and he said, "Bro, your stream is still live." And it'd been like 30 minutes of just dead air. So I had to run back in and go and leave. So
Nice.
never underestimate my ability to boomer up a situation. Lee Newman says this looks fantastic. Good morning, Lee. Good to see you. And yes, it
Thank you.
does. So we'll just keep scrolling through here. Katie, we'll come back to the campaign, but I got to do this. Show us the dragons.
Yes, let's make sure I don't
You
knock
guys-
anything over with tea.
You guys check this out.
This is Yeah, she is very large. So it's one of those where I can take all the pictures in the universe and everybody's like, oh, she looks cool. No, she's massive.
Yes. So you see this thing,
Yeah, no, let's try and,
Look at this. Look at this thing. Look how beautiful.
That's so
she
awesome.
has this lovely long tail that is very much based off of. I had an iguana growing up, and absolutely love that thing. Everybody who's like, "Oh, iguanas make terrible pets," I beg to differ. They're lovely so long as you are their friend, and yeah.
So, my wife actually had an iguana growing up as well. So.
Yeah, no, I like
100%.
Her design is based off of that iguana, and he, granted, named him as a child, so I thought he was a woman first of all, and found out that it was a boy iguana, and so I had my boy iguana named Lizzie, and he was great. Had the attitude that keeps you interested, but at the same time, visually they're just absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And so I just was like, I want to make a dragon that looks like that. So all the spots, all the fringe and everything, tail stripes, 100% based off of that.
As good a pet as an iguana can be, a dragon makes a much better pet.
Right, exactly. So that's how Ember truly came to be. Was I had an iguana and I wanted something even more exciting than that. And then puppet wise,
screaming for the puppets. My favorite too. I'm not gonna lie. Look at this, Tanner.
This is awesome. I love it.
Now these are handmade by Katie herself, and yes, they are available on the campaign.
Yeah, so the puppets take me about 8 to 12 hours. The big dragons take me about a week. And yeah, they're a work of love. I make them because they're fun.
Yes,
and people love them. So that's why they're here.
The quality is amazing.
The quality is amazing.
As I'm sure you can tell from the art in general, I am a perfectionist in everything that I do. And the way that all of this came about was when I was first setting up for my first show back in October of 2013. I wanted to have something to spruce up the booth, make it more interesting. Because at the time, all I had was a few prints, some sketches, and issue 1. That was it. And so I'm like, all right, if I'm going to fill out a table, how is this going to work? And so I made the very first rudimentary version of Ember. That one eventually got given to my best friend, who's now had it for, almost a decade with her 4 little boys. And so she's been my test bed of, can it survive? Like, how durable are they really? And as 4 little boys, they're not going to be in any way kind. And the thing still lives, and it, in my opinion, is not exactly attractive anymore. But the things that I learned between that one and the next one were immense. And they don't look that different now.
I love that kind of prototype testing. Here, play with this. Until it becomes
do your worst.
Until it becomes toddler brown and sticky.
Exactly. But to be fair, I haven't had to repair anything on it, which I did put that out there in the ether. I was like, if you need me to do something, I am available to take care of that.
Right.
And it lives. So, that original Ember is still out in the universe and still being played with by these 4 little boys. And it warms my heart to know that that's, something that is still good.
And knowing that Katie is also the dragon veterinarian on standby is also covered.
Oh yeah, no, and to be frank, like when anybody ever buys one of these, I'm always like, seriously, if anything ever happens to it, just let me know and I will make it happen. Like, find me at a con, I will have my sewing gear, I will fix it. And nobody's taken me up on it yet, so that's clearly, a good sign of my craftsmanship. But at the same time,
I have been,
will do.
I have a deep and abiding love for puppets. Tanner and I were talking about this yesterday when we were doing show prep. I don't know if it's from being raised on Sesame Street or what, but I had puppets when I was young, like toddler.
Oh yeah.
I preferred.
Doc, have you seen my Kermit?
No.
Okay, give me a sec. I will be. But I
preferred playing with the puppets over having stuffed animals because I could make them talk and give them voices. And let's see this thing here. Look at this.
I don't want to spoil him early, so I wanted to.
All right. Okay.
But so the reason this happened was beyond just always been a fan of the Muppets. There was, as soon as I made my puppets initially, there was a gentleman who came up at one of the cons and was like, would you be willing to make me a Kermit? And I'm like, yes. I have no idea how much I'm going to charge you, but I will do that so long as you understand it's a test bed for me making one for myself.
Right. So you made his, and look at that!
Oh man, that's spot on.
Hold up, that's the first time I seen him. He's badass.
Kermit the Frog here.
It's Kermit the Frog, a.k.a. Jordan Peterson. Think about the voices.
Hi-ho.
Make him do the scrunchy face. Make him do the scrunchy face that Kermit does when it's... There it is. I love it.
Yeah, no, I made sure to have the mouth plate that can do that because it's not a Kermit if it can't do the Kermit scrunch.
Exactly
true.
right.
So
exactly. Everybody in the chat is losing their minds. The chat is losing their minds over this. This is wonderful.
But yeah, no, I made, and I think I'm going to try and make at least one more because there's certain things about this that I'm like, it's not quite right, but it's pretty darn close.
It's so close. I wouldn't be able to tell.
Listen, if he showed up on the show,
make a crumb, guys.
I would. If that thing showed up on the show, you would not be able to tell the difference.
She's gonna have to make a crumb, yo.
Katie, I need a full-size Big Bird to get inside of.
The amount of material, I can't even imagine.
I just want a puppet so Doc can be Crumb.
Yeah, we need a Crumb puppet, Katie. We need a Crumb puppet.
I can make it happen. No, seriously.
All right, talk
that
to
would be great fun.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Gotta talk to the boss, man.
Talk to the boss, man.
That's great. Oh, we're gonna have to figure that out. Quentin, hi, Katie. What's up?
Nobody. You moved the thing on me.
I didn't move nothing.
Yeah, you did.
Won't you get in trouble if the boss shows up?
Oh, no, it's the boss here? Hey, wait, I'm the boss.
Right when I clicked on it, it jumped, and I ended up clicking on it.
I wasn't even in that screen. I'm watching the comments. See, because we got the cue.
Yes, Quentin, welcome. All right, we're going to pay some bills here. Pops, play us some commercials so everybody can refresh their coffee.
I just want to know where's Dale watching at? Where's this guy at? Is he on your channel, Doc? Oh, no, he's on the Madness. All right. Hey, Dale, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Go over there and subscribe to Doc's channel, too. Doc Blalock on YouTube, you guys. If you're watching on my channel, go over there and subscribe to his channel. That's basically the whole point of why we're doing this, is to get everybody a wider audience, right? So go check out Doc. Tanner, do you even have a channel? What do you do?
I do. There's like 4 posts on it. I'm working on it.
I'm working on it. All right, play us some commercials, Pops. Everybody go refresh your coffee or your tea, and we'll be back here in about 4 minutes, maybe 5.
Okay, what do we got? We got Amo Grizz.
Bringing you sex, sass, and style. Buckle up and unlock your imagination for a fun adventure with these death-dealing dames. They sail the galaxy in search of spoils. The most dangerous acquisition, and the most fruitful, are the legendary Splinters of Yggdrasil. The Splinters are magical artifacts forged from the Tree of Life that wreak havoc on the universe. The missions are perilous, but the bounty is glorious. Enjoy our hyper-fictional wonderland. How is a pirate ship sailing through space? 'Cause magic. How do they heal so quickly after battle? 'Cause magic. How are they able to communicate through jewelry? 'Cause magic. It's all about the characters. Abo, rough, robotic, ready. Mo, carefree, callous, courageous. Mistress Graven, daring, diplomatic, dominating. Betsy, academic, accountable, aristocratic. Nefara, ancient, assured, adrenaline junkie. Bruto, proud, prominent, protective. Fisty, independent, incendiary, invigorating. Roxy, superficial, scarred, secretive. Once you get to know this diverse crew of mythical miscreants, you'll be anxious to find out what trouble they'll get into on the next episode. Go to abogrizzly.com and order both halves of the first episode today.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. It's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving it, so all you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work.
Heck yeah, Frog G.
Welcome back, Abo Grizz, Frog G, wonderful stuff.
Man.
Listen,
Apple Grizz, 4 copies, $5 each. Like
Yes.
they're affordable. You can get them on the website, baby. You don't even.
I have them all myself. I am a huge fan of everything Abo puts out.
yes. And Mo and Joe are the creators. They are a wonderful couple. They do great work. They put a lot of heart, soul, and wit into their marketing. So it's good stuff. If you're new to this, as one of our viewers has said, independent comics are absolutely the best investment you can make in entertainment today. You're making dreams come true for an individual creator, and in return, they are cranking out product that is amazing.
Not only that, but when you back one of these projects that hasn't quite funded yet, you see 40, 50, 60 people that have backed it. They're hoping it gets funded so they get their book. You're not just helping the creator out, you're helping fans get books.
Yeah.
Really, that's what comics has always been about. Fans reading comic books.
It should always be about the fans. Yes.
Yeah.
If you're a collector, if you're a reader, if you're just an enthusiast, or you are a fan, go to Indiegogo, go to Kickstarter, go to these individual creators' web pages, and show them the love so that this stuff can continue. In the meantime, we're going to shift gears for just a second. We're going to turn to my co-host Tanner Hurley for a segment we call
And good morning, everybody. I'm Tanner Hurley, and I'd like to talk about a great moment, or at least something that led up to a great moment in comics history. It's the publication of Seduction of the Innocents in 1954.
Yeah!
Yes. So what did this do for comics? Okay, well, basically it criticized comics for being uneducational, promoted homosexuality, violence, crime, taught children, and this is the funny one, to ignore the laws of physics. You know, like we all think we're going to fly or something. Crazy thought.
Only if you get electrocuted or something. That's the only way that happens.
Well, as crazy as this is, this led to the Senate subcommittee on juvenile delinquency. So we got our government involved. Okay.
And who not get involved?
So why do I bring this up? Because I'm a big advocate for the lack of censorship. I'm not a big fan of censorship. I'm about creator rights, creator ownership, things of that nature.
Right.
So what did this spur on? This spurred on Bill Gaines. Bill Gaines. Not to be confused with Ed Gaines, Demon Hunter,
or Bill Gates.
Or Bill Gates. My shout out to Lucifer Storm there.
Lou.
Love Lucy.
But anyhow, he was the creator of such books as Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, things of that nature. So, the subcommittee basically created the CCA. and that's the Comics Code Authority. All right, so if you pick up an old comic, for example, let's scroll in here. We have right here the code.
Yeah,
we have our own code.
Now,
and that lasted all the way up
until
the 2000s. Okay, and that's the greatest moment in history. Okay, when we abolished the code. Marvel Knights came out of it. Basically, what everyone realizes as the MCU is the 2000s. Remakes of all their characters, a little edgier, a little moodier, completely unedited.
We have our own code, though, guys, don't we?
Now, we have the not approved by the Comics Code, but then we also have the approved by the Comics Chat Authority.
We have our own.
And
the now,
this is where the concept of comics are for children came from,
right?
Because everywhere else in the world they didn't have to deal with the Comics Code, so they'd make comics about whatever the heck they wanted.
Yeah, Warren Ellis was doing magazines instead of comics. The Comics Code Authority, and correct me if I'm wrong, but before the government could get involved, the publishers said, well, to keep them out of it, we'll make up this code and we'll stick to these rules. So that did away with a lot of the horror, the romance comics, the war comics. All of those things were bigger sellers than superheroes. Now, granted, there weren't that many superhero books back in the day. Superman was around. I think Shazam, Captain Marvel was around. Submariner was around. Captain America may have been around. But not that many. This is why, boys and girls, if you go and you pick up a comic from, let's just say the 70s, blood is always black ink. They couldn't show red blood. It had to be black.
Hey, I don't know. I've seen Thor hit a lot of people with that hammer. Never seen blood splatter one time, man.
You wouldn't see, but like in a Conan book, when he would lop somebody's head off, you would see black ink spurt out, no red. Same thing for Mike Grell with Warlord, all that stuff. Additionally, they couldn't show people in certain sorts of poses. So like the stuff you saw in the 90s coming out of Image, where you could see all of a girl's butt and all of her boobs in the same shot. I don't know how they get that pose. That would have never been allowed. They break their spine to pose for you. Look at me. You would have never seen that. You could not show criminals profiting or winning by their evil deeds. The list went on and on and on. And
horror, crime, things of that couldn't be on the title of your book.
Exactly. So the blowback to that was, after decades, creators just went, and I mean, at this time before Marvel and DC lost their minds and Image came along and all this stuff, everybody went, you know what, screw those people. We're just going to make what people want and see if this is going to market. And comic books in the 90s, The Death of Superman, Batman with a Broken Back, before that you had Spider-Man's black costume, and then The Birth of Venom, and then you had, the Midnight Suns, and all the dark stuff started coming out. Sales went through the roof in the 90s. Because
look where we are now.
Yes, and now we're here. That would never have been approved by the Comics Code Authority. Now,
that is true.
That did not.
He's not a fuzzy animal or a superhero.
That's right.
Completely disqualified.
And it did not have the effect that some people thought, that child-friendly or young adult-friendly material would get shoved to the side. In fact, it did the opposite. It opened the doors for everybody, and that tide raised all the ships. So projects like Katie's are much more accessible, much more visible than they would have been still behind that wall of the CCA. So, yeah, there's that. So this has been... Science and Comics with Tanner Hurley. Yeah, man.
That was a good one. Definitely.
That was.
Brianna's all the way over there in the Netherlands, headbanging with us. I love it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've been missing you on the draw stream, Brianna. Look,
always good to see you, Brianna.
1 o'clock. Every
So-
Sunday, 1 o'clock.
so-
Real quick, I just got a new backer. I just looked over and the number is higher than it used to be.
Fantastic. Let's take a look at that.
Ooh, Steven, thank you.
Scroll it on up there. Pops. I love seeing the numbers. Look at that. Yeah.
That is excellent. Let's see here.
That went up like over $200.
No, that's $212. That is amazing.
Wow. Congratulations. That's what we do here.
And they got a puppet.
That's what I was going to say.
That is the first puppet.
Tanner, was that you?
It was.
Which puppet did you get?
Well,
The
you
dragon.
can't select. So you need to tell me which of the 12 puppets.
There's 12. Yeah, let me show the picture.
Tanner.
So yeah, look at the
Tanner.
picture.
You get to
Tell me
pick.
which one, and I will write it down.
Look at these guys.
Keep going.
There's more though.
Oh, I'm so jealous
There's
right
a
now.
dozen. Yep. So which of those dozen beauties do you want?
Oh, I went too far.
Oh, you are. Well, you
Look
always.
how cute that is, though. Look how cute that is in the box.
Tanner, I'm so jealous. I'm driving to Savannah to steal it.
I like the black and purple one. I like the purple Fu Manchu, the oldest one, the ancient.
Yeah,
one.
I think the purple one right there.
All right, you're getting Syra.
Yes.
Yes. What's his name?
Her name is Shandira. So
That's what I
she
said.
is
Shandira.
my- Yeah,
I
so
love
she is my
it.
Queen of Dragons. So
Oh,
when you get her, she's gonna have a little ear tag, and on the back is gonna be her name, so you will know what her name is.
Oh.
But yeah, so she is my eldest character. She's
You don't need
seen
money,
it all.
Brianna. You don't
And
need
yeah,
money
she's
to
awesome.
support the madness. You just need to come hang out.
You support with your chats, with your
Yeah,
attendance.
you just come
You're
hang
on
out. That's all.
panels, just by spreading the word. By the way, it's that time for me to say, if you haven't done so yet, give us a like, a subscribe if we've earned it, that thumbs up, and share this out to your social media so we get more.
Can I do it, Doc? Can I do it?
I just got notification. She's all mine.
Yep.
Yes!
No, I was just typing
do
in
one
my
thing.
little response. You kidding? Like I said, I get super giddy every time something happens, and I've replied to every single person, including that Kickstarter $1. So
I'm stoked.
You're watching Doc's Coffee Shop. Jeez, I'll get it out. Doc's Coffee Shop brought to you by Java. Because it's the year 2073. Coffee is serious business.
You better believe it, baby.
By Committed Comics, baby. Go check it out. Check it out.
Also, unofficially, not sponsored by Safe House Coffee Roasters, friends of mine that own one of the top-ranked coffee houses in the United States and indeed in the world. SafeHouseCoffeeRoasters.com. Check them out. The freshest, best coffee you'll ever taste. Yeah, she wants all them awesome comics in the coolest way.
And
Katie,
pointing at the
Yes.
puppets.
when are you coming to the East Coast to do a show? Particularly, when are you coming
So
to the Southeast United States?
yeah, so I would love to. So currently, it's pretty much whatever shows I can drive to.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
my husband and I have been looking into as far as like whether or not we take a train, because let's be real, traveling with comics and the big dragons is not fun for a plane.
Right.
But there are certain places in the world that I would love to see. And,
Yeah.
so if you have any recommendations show wise, let me know and I will look into it.
All right.
But one of my,
Savannah Comic Con.
yeah, no worries.
Augusta.
Seriously.
Augusta,
Send me-
the Joe Show.
Yeah, I will look into it. But one of my friends who
Where are
does
you at,
NPC
Katie?
comics in California. So
Man,
on
that's
the
a
other
long
side
drive to
of
go
the
get you and take you to the East Coast. That's a long,
No, I know.
long drive.
Well, but you know, we'll make it happen even if it's a trimmed down version. I am terrified at the concept of sending, because I've had people who have, you know, lost pallets of comics getting shipped, you know, to various locations. I'm like, nope, not going to be me. Not ever going to happen.
I'm with
you know.
Let's,
so,
you know, that's an elephant in the room that we need to we're going to toss it out there briefly. The person that was asking earlier about Kickstarter and about the crowdfunding and independent comic movement, the biggest thorn in our side right now is the shipping and the fulfillment. If I wanted to ship to the UK, it's cost prohibitive. It would cost me more to ship my book than it would to produce the book. Australia, same thing. And it works the other way. The great Glenn Fleming over in the UK, he paid almost as much in shipping as I paid for his product. So it's rough right now. And hopefully we get that better. But there are people indeed like Critical Blast who do fulfillment. Tanner Hurley runs a publishing house that does all that. My publisher's handling that for me, so I can just create a book, which is a wonderful segue, by the way, into this. I'm going to share the unfinished trailer for Pariah Blood and Mud that we're working on. It should be, the finished product should be up in the next couple of days, but this is a debut. I need a big fanfare.
We need some madness premiere. We need some kind of a something, because people are always doing that, giving us something they've never shown anybody else, and we got nothing. We definitely.
Well, you saw it first here on Doc's Coffee Shop. Imagine me shilling my own product. Get over to Indiegogo and sign up for.
Doesn't matter what you say or the action that you take. This is done without your will from the problems that you made. You're the night of the just out of Aragorn legions all around you. Just the things you cannot change in the darkness that's inside you.
Violating all the statutes of the Comics Code Authority in one book.
Real quick, I would just like to point out that the Comics Code died with a whimper, and that's fantastic.
Yes. Yes. It died writhing on the ground, going, "But I'm valid. I'm pertinent." No, you're not.
People care. No, they don't.
Nobody. Oh my God.
Cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
How dare you?
Oh wow!
It looks fantastic, Doc. I have, I don't know if you actually know, but I do follow it. So yes, I'm excited.
Fantastic. Yeah, if you don't mind, head on over to Indiegogo and sign up for the mailing list. There is an exclusive trading card you get if you back the book later, but you sign up now. That was drawn by me and colored by Phil Leon. It's a beautiful piece. So we're not going to spotlight it. I'm not even shilling hard right now. Not going to start doing that till we get closer to the launch date. But just wanted to debut the preliminary trailer. Like I said, it should be finished tonight. Some of the images are just placeholders because I don't own a scanner.
Really?
I don't own a scanner. I don't own a printer. So I took them to a professional printer and I said, please scan these at blah, 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 the industry standard. And for whatever reason, every single time she scans an image for me, my line work looks pixelated. And it's like, I don't draw in pixels. How is this possibly happening? So I come home and I actually get better images with my potato phone just taking a picture and posting them. So I paid
He
all that
clearly
money.
has a potato phone. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's awful. So Dark Gift Comics is publishing my book, and that's Anthony Romano. So when the campaign launches, I'm actually going to mail the pages to him so he can scan them and put them up because he knows what a comic book page is supposed to look like. Imagine my disappointment, Katie, when you get the images on your thumb
Oh,
drive.
no, I know that pain, truthfully.
Yeah.
So when I was first, remaking issues 1 and 2, because I also did not have a scanner yet.
Right.
I had to go down to Kinko's, as it was at the time, and, paid them a ridiculous sum of money. Like, I want to say
Yes.
it was at least $3 a page.
Yeah, that's exactly
at
right.
something like 300 or 600 DPI. And I'm like, no, why? I'm never doing this again. But what I had to do, because I was changing aspect ratios from, manga style to American comic style, because I prefer the extra height
Right.
for the interior pages of the comic. And so I was like, might as well just save me a little bit of time. I knew no better to, blow everything up that bit so that it would fit better on 11x17.
Yes.
And the experience of doing that and how much it cost made me so mad that at the time I was working at Apple. And so I was able to get a huge discount on my own Epson printer, which sits right behind me. Scanner, sorry. And so I got a Epson Expression, like 10,000 XL or whatever the heck it is. And it was still ridiculously expensive, but I'm like, every single time I use that thing, I go, thank God I'm not paying Kinko's for another crappy scan. Because that thing can, I have it chug out 1200 DPI every day that I, feel like using it. And it's so much better.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list of things to do. Think about this, guys. By the time you pay a printer or a Kinko's or Office Max, whatever, you pay them $3 a page. By the time you've done a couple of issues, you could have bought the scanner.
Exactly. And that was exactly why I turned around and was like, all right, let's make this happen.
So true.
Yeah.
And that was the first investment truly that I made into my comic, was that and buying like hundreds of these, bristleboard 11x17s.
Yes.
Because you'll use them eventually.
Yes.
And
I
so
love that you do yours old school too, Katie.
Digital space doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if it's the fact that I just, haven't given it enough time to get better at it, but to hell with digital space. Everything starts on paper. So it's all about drawing on paper.
I love the convenience that the digital medium offers you. You got that hand wrong, but the rest of the drawing is good. You can just delete it and draw it back.
Oh yeah. Well, and honestly, so when I scan everything in, so 1200 DPI, and then I pull away that sketch once I'm done with the inking, and the file size goes from like half a gig each page to being like a couple hundred, megs, and I'm like, yeah, that makes a huge difference. My poor computer, when it's in the throes of inking, goes from having, because Photoshop bloats everything. It's it's fun. So it'll be from, say, the 180 gigs that my computer actually has storage wise to thinking it's about at the 100 gig. And that's just because I'm opening Photoshop and working on multiple pages. It's crazy.
When I do TIFFs or PNGs, because my computer got run in on by lightning, half my RAM is gone. It won't even open the TIFFs. It won't open them.
Man.
The computer goes, no, I don't think so, buddy. And it just shuts down. So new computer, scanner, all that's coming up in the new year. I would like to try digital, but there is nothing like drawing on Bristol. I'm just saying.
Oh, love it every day of the week. But I, digitally inking makes me happy, because not only do I get to be as detailed as I want, once the bare bones are there with the drawings. But that means that when I pull away my drawing, the inks are perfect. You don't have to deal with scanning errors that I would know that I would take the time to physically go in and clean up every single page, and I would waste far too much time.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I do it the way that I do, and it's.
And I got to reiterate for you guys, this campaign, it's her first crowdfunder. It's not her first comic. This is
so I've been doing and loving comics for many years, but this is my first attempt at Kickstarter, and we're almost there. We have a little over $500 left to go, and thanks to Tanner, you're awesome.
I just want to, everybody know. Obviously, she invests in selling the books. She invests. She goes to cons. She buys a table. She does her thing at cons.
Katie is serious about her product, folks. Is what we're saying.
I would not be here if I didn't love doing this.
I talked to her about it. She understands having an eye catcher at your table at the con. She has this huge tree that she puts all the dragons on. That people you can see it over everybody's head, right? When you're walking in a jammed aisle.
Funny story about that, Pops. You'll get a kick out of this. So prior to having that tree, I had the two dragons. This is prior to having the puppets. And there would always be that awkward moment when I was on a 6-foot table and there's only so much space for stuff to fill the table. Right. And so the dragons would get uncomfortably close to one another. And it's an all ages comic. So I'm sitting there going, I can't be having that on my table.
Right.
And so I was like, to avoid the appearance of dragon sex, we are going honest to God.
Here's the thing. Not like she's acting like you
gotta
don't
have
right?
more verticality, and so that was how the tree came to be.
More verticality.
I did not need to answer another person coming to the table and being like, "So tell me about these two dragons that are sitting on top of each other. What's going on there?" And I'm like, "I'm done with it." So now they're on a tree. They got their own platforms. It's fantastic. I'm lucky enough to have a family friend who's a carpenter. And so he's helped make both my comic stand, that's my little bookcase, my little waterfall bookcase, as well as the tree. And it is fantastic. Not only to avoid the awkward conversations, but eye-catching. Everybody can see it from across the room. And I'm always tickled when somebody comes over and hasn't seen the dragons. So like they see the comic first, and I'm like, yes. They came in because of the comic covers. They didn't see the dragons yet, and then they look over and they go, "Oh, yeah, I didn't see that." It's great when it happens, but it is definitely the not as common reaction. Everybody 9 times out of 10 sees, "Oh, I saw the dragons," or "My kids saw the dragons, so we came over to check them out."
Yeah. The
Eric, how's it going?
The word verticality, patent pending, Katie Shaw. Word for the day, verticality. I freaking love that word. I'm a word hound.
Make up words that make sense.
I love verticality. That is word for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Use it at least once today in a sentence in your everyday life. Verticality.
Yay!
I love it.
That and aspect ratio. I will die on that hill.
Yes.
Eric does a draw stream on the channel as well. He'll be out here at 2:00 doing his thing. Had a great premiere show last week, man. So check it out.
We throw around words like aspect ratio and Bristol Ward and just to make it sound like we're insiders, that we know something other people don't know.
We totally know what we're doing over here.
We don't have a clue what we're doing.
Rihanna has a legitimate question.
Yeah, you are absolutely allowed to translate it to Deutsch when you use it later today. Rihanna, we love you. We've missed you.
In fact, share that with us so that we can use it.
Yeah,
write it out in Dutch.
Yeah, verticality, aspect ratio. What are they in Dutch?
So we're at that point in the show, Katie, where we're going to throw the link out if someone wants to come in and ask you about your project or ask the panel anything. They are certainly welcome to do that. I'm going to drop the link. Just remember, don't come in and poop on the floor. Be nice to our panel. Be nice to our chat and respectful. And come on in and ask your questions, give some comments, feedback. We'd love to have you.
Come one, come all.
Come one, come all. You know, Katie, I just got to say, man, it doesn't matter if you're selling comics with an option to buy a dragon or if you're selling dragons with an option to buy a comic book. You've got a great market thing going on here.
Thank
This
you.
is
Yeah,
wonderful.
no, it was a
Wonderful.
happy accident that I fell into it because, like I said, it was a necessity of trying to fill the table. But the joy that I got when the first one did sell. So obviously, like I said, the first prototype went to my best friend and her 4 kids. But that first one that sold, I was like, oh my God, that was so much fun. Because it was.
What are you gonna do if people start wanting you to like? What would you do right now if like 40 people hit you up and wanted a big dragon?
Well, first of all, they can't because I limited it. So there's that. But
You
truthfully,
did it on the campaign, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you have on your website too, right?
If they went to the website, so people can custom order dragons. So at the bottom of the campaign, the picture with the one in the box, that was somebody, custom ordering one. So they, told me their dragon's name, the whole rigmarole. And, I love it whenever those come in, but, with the understanding that we have to wait for fabric to ship to me and everything else if I don't just have it in stock. But will I do it with love? Absolutely. But
it might take a little while.
There's only there's only so many.
What happens if the demand becomes something where you have to outsource the
it's never going to happen.
manufacturing?
You kidding, Pops? I would never trust anybody to make my dragons.
Thank you very much. These
No,
will always be custom, one of a kind, made by the creator.
Made with love.
Don't wait till the waiting list is too long.
Yeah.
Get it now.
But, as far as how I would deal with it, the reality is I would say, well, I have this lovely Kickstarter going. So if you signed up for it through that, you'll absolutely get it before December of this year. However, if, it isn't related to that, once the Kickstarter's done, then I'll work on the dragons. Because going to cons right now, knowing that I have all this going on and, madly trying to finish issue 8, I haven't replaced the puppets that I've sold if I don't have a skin ready to sell it. And so I'm down to, I think it's 8 of my dozen puppets.
What a wonderful problem to have.
Oh, it's great. It's one of those, just put the tree will look a little more sparse than it typically will. But it's a good problem to have in that obviously I'm putting the time into the issue, but once everything's done, I am going straight back into sewing mode. It's going to be madness, fluff everywhere. It's going to be a good time.
And we are going to get
madness
to do a Crom puppet. I got to tell you guys this, Katie, particularly you, but I think Tanner and Pops will get this too. I think I really fell in love with puppets when I was in the 2nd grade. We had a couple of cats in the house, and for Christmas I got Cookie Monster, the puppet, the cloth one. My cats truly believed that thing was alive and real, and they hated it. I would put it on and just cut my head to look at them, and they would.
Yeah.
And I would fight them with that puppet, and they would get so into it. I mean, they just eyes like I'm not even there. The puppet was the thing.
And my cats are the same way, to the point where even if I just put a sock on my hand, instant death. Like my cat will go from 0 to anger as soon as, and he will start making noises you would never otherwise hear him make. Exactly.
Yeah.
I want that video.
Complete anger. It's hilarious.
I want the cat squaring up with the dragon.
That poor Cookie Monster had blue fur flying everywhere.
Yeah.
They get on the back, do the kick thing because they're trying to eviscerate it.
Better yet, I want the cat squaring off with the Crom puppet.
Over
one
time,
day, Pops, one day.
I would put the thing on my bedpost at the foot of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
and the cats would run out of the hall into the bedroom, leap in the air, and grab it and bite it, and then run away.
Mine do
loved it.
not unless it's on an arm.
Yeah.
So if it's just sitting there, on a lamppost or whatever, cats could care less. The moment it touches my fingers, like I said, 0 to 10.
like I said, I think that's when I fell in love with them, was the idea that this adorable cuddly kitty would lose their freaking mind because they believed this thing was real, and that puppets have the ability to. I did puppet shows for the kids at our church and all this stuff. That kids will engage with a puppet like it's a real living thing. You're not even there. You don't even have to hide behind the puppet stand. Just hold it, and they buy into it. That suspension of disbelief that children have, that is so amazing, that probably has sold more comics and movies than anything in the world, is just in full force when you play with kids with a puppet. It's just awesome.
Yeah,
So,
if I were born a decade earlier, I would have, done crazy things to work with Jim Henson.
yeah, I think I would too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Love, grew up with the Frog Prince short movie that he did. Sweetums' first appearance, loved that. And Fraggle Rock was the one show that was coming out when I was a kid.
I watched a lot of that myself.
Yeah.
Obviously like the Dark Crystal
Yes.
Labyrinth.
Yeah. So my when I first saw the Labyrinth, my parents had left my sisters and I alone in the house. They were going off on a date or whatever, and they turned on this movie, and we're just like, by the time they got home, what the heck was that? We loved it, but what the heck was that? Because as 3 little girls, we were very sheltered. We were, there was the rules of you can't watch certain cartoons because they're toy cartoons. Like, no joke. We would wake up to watch Batman in secret.
What was the thing that Sarah said in the movie? Goblin King, wherever you be, come and take this baby far from me.
Yeah.
I would have done that to my younger sibling. I'm just telling you right now, because that's how my brain works. I would have Goblin King. My brother would have and run away. It would have been awesome, but I was grown.
Yeah.
It came out.
No. As a kid, I'm like, I don't know why she's mad at Jareth. She, he did what she wanted.
Yeah.
She asked for all of this.
You wanted to be scared, and I was frightening. Yeah, it's a great movie, and I got to say, David Bowie knocked it out of the park with.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes, he did.
So this is going to bring us to the end of the show here today. I want to thank Katie for coming out. It was a pleasure to have you. You're always welcome on the show anytime.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah,
Glad to bring myself and my tea on your show.
Absolutely. We allow tea drinkers. Or I would lose my UK contingent, and I love my UK folks. I was almost one of them. Before this pandemic hit, I was in the process of selling my house to buy a narrowboat. If you don't know what a narrowboat is, look it up on. There's several channels, and go live on the canals and do my art and just live the life at 2 miles an hour. I wanted to do it. Then the pandemic hit, and I'm like, well, screw it. I'm stuck here now. So yeah. I love my UK people. Tanner, thank you, my co-host, as always, for coming out. Kate, we love you. We miss you. I can't wait to have you back co-hosting. Kate is my other co-host, but hurricanes will do that to you. That's a valid excuse for missing work. A hurricane hit,
Yes.
And Pops, of course, for producing the show. Thank you as always. We're going to roll some beautiful bean footage for you, and we are out of here. Later, everybody.
Toodles.
Peace. You gonna roll them or am I?
You are. And you take it from there, big boy.
Yeah, boy.
Look, I interrupt this commercial to bring you the follow. Just want to say, this is the fastest hour and a half on YouTube. We have so much fun hanging out with the chat, having coffee with you guys, talking to creators and comic related folks that it just flies by. So thank you for being here. We now return to our regularly scheduled programming already in progress.
We've all heard the stories. We've all heard the legends. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid. But there's a secret history to the Old West. One that seems too strange to be true, but, well, we all know what they say about the truth. Very big ape, very big guns, blowing very big holes, very bad people. I think the world is finally ready to hear the story of the strangest, the most startling Western hero of them all. Six-gun gorilla, long days of vengeance.
I don't want to play no more.
The original intention of the film was just for my personal use, but I thought with it being such a unique thing that I'd like to offer it to anybody who wants to see it. Things like that. And it's just a unique film of him.
He says, I beat you. He says, they say we came in under the dead heat. He says, that's not true because I beat you. And the American said, well, he says, if you like to think so, he says, but I know the real story. He says, I know I clearly won that one.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz
how to
hands. Jazz hands are
done.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book.